Welcome to day 8 in our reading plan through the book of John. Today's reading is John chapter 1, verses 35 through 42. And we're talking about the first 4 things Jesus says in the Gospel of John. If you had to guess, what do you think Jesus would say? In my mind, the way I grew up, probably I would guess whatever he had to say would start with 2 words, you should. When I think about Jesus and kind of the caricature in my head, he's always walking around telling people what they should and shouldn't do, like the moral police. But when I actually read the text, I'm surprised because what he says is very different, both in content and tone. So dial in and check this out. Jesus is on his way somewhere, and he sees 2 guys following him. He knows they're looking at him. He can feel their eyes on him, and he turns around and he says, "What do you want?" Or what are you looking for? Now, there's 2 ways to read this. One is like, what do you want? That's not what he's saying. What he's actually asking is, what are you looking for, really? Like you're searching around, what is it that you are longing for just beneath the surface? It's the first thing he asks them, and he asks us. What are you looking for? What are you spending your energy on? The way you design your days, what is it for in the end? That's what he's getting to. What's driving you? What's that longing or compulsion in your heart? So I'm going to ask you, what are you looking for, really? The second thing that happens is they respond and they say, well, where are you staying? It's kind of a bizarre answer. Maybe they're not ready to answer question number 1, but they want to know a little bit more. So Jesus just says, come and see. It's a non-threatening invitation. Just move in a little bit closer. If you're curious, just come and see. You don't have to commit. You don't have to go all in. Just come a little bit closer to me and find out for yourself. I don't know where you are in your journey of faith, but I think Jesus is always wooing us one step closer. So wherever you are, if he's beckoning you, come and see, where is that next step? Where is he inviting you to come a little bit closer to see what he's all about? The third thing that happens is Simon, Andrew's brother, comes because his brothers invited him. And Jesus says to him, you know what? You're Simon, but you will be Peter. If you missed Matt's sermon on this in Cornerstone a couple of weeks ago, check it out. It was so powerful about how Jesus wants to transform us. He doesn't just say, come follow me, I love you just as you are. No, he's way too good for that. He's way too kind because he knows what you and I know deep in our hearts, that there really are things in us that need to be changed. There are wounds that need to be healed. There are habits and practices that need to stop in order for us to have the abundant, over-the-top life that he's promised us. So the promise Jesus gives to Peter in that moment is, he says, you know what, right now you're this way, but spend a little bit of time with me, and I'm going to change you. I'm going to renovate you and make you into something else, something better, something more than you could have imagined for yourself. Not really in the eyes of the world. He's not promising fame or a following or any kind of glory. He's promising character transformation. That Peter is going to be the kind of man who stands firm on the rock and doesn't flee when things get hard. So that's the third thing. What is that transformation Jesus wants to do in your life? What are the ways that you are now that may just not be fixed? You know, maybe you have an anxious presence, and maybe what Jesus wants to do is to move in, and as he spends time with you, to give you peace. Maybe you're constantly looking around and comparing yourselves to other people. And what Jesus is saying is, spend a little bit of time with me, and I will change comparison into contentment. So for you, what is that? What's the invitation to growth? Then the fourth thing he says is, you know what? Follow me. Come. Leave everything, because nothing you have compares with what you will find when you follow after me. And following is very active. It's different than, I grew up in church where we talked about believe. Believe in Jesus and you'll be saved. Believe feels kind of like a one-time thing, or that it's like some ideology, a way of thinking. But when Jesus invites us, it's actually a practice to follow me. Walk in the way that I walk. Go where I go. Do what I did. So he's inviting us to follow him. How have you responded to that invitation? Do you follow him? Like, do you follow him sometimes? Do you follow him on Sunday mornings? Do you follow him Monday morning when you open your email at the office? Do you follow him when you're around the conference table making decisions? Where are you actively following Jesus in your life? And where have you said, no, Lord, I'm not going to follow you there yet? Where are you holding out? I wonder in this season of study through John, if you could follow him, even into the deep end, even into the uncomfortable places, and even when it might cost you, knowing that when we follow Jesus, it always leads to life, even life after death. Those are the 4 things Jesus says as John's gospel opens. Write them down, think about them, and let those questions burrow down into your thinking and your heart today, and let Jesus have his way.